Make sure to subscribe to our channel, join our Discord, and also follow us on Instagram so you always have the support that you need to really enhance your account and get yourself to the next level. Also, if you stick around until the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can save a lot of money when you make in-game purchases in The Legend of Mushroom by getting some amazing cashbacks each time you purchase anything. Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the Sky channel. So this is going to be a quick video on what I recommend that you purchase from event shops. Now you'll notice that a lot of event shops are very similar. You have the opportunity of purchasing 10 attempts for 15,000 gems. That's something that I do recommend you buy because it can save you a bunch of money if you're planning on trying to get one of those good prizes. Even if not, it does increase your chance of getting one of those guaranteed prizes every 100 draws, which can end up being one of the mounts or the wing or whatever that they're offering in that particular event. Now, based on how much you're willing to spend, the next part becomes relevant. For example, there will be cases where you'll end up doing enough of these draws to get more than 100 of these points. And those points that I'm talking about are like the magic punch, but it changes every event. These are basically those points that you can use to redeem items in the store. Now, when you go to the store, you can see the 100 points gets you that mount or wing that is guaranteed after 500 draws. But sometimes you might not be that lucky and you might end up drawing 400 times and still not get the mount that's being offered. However, you might be lucky in another way and you might get 100 points that you can use to purchase that mount or wing without having to buy 100 additional attempts to guarantee that prize through the draw. When it comes to that, I do recommend that you stop there. Don't get the $100 pack or the $50 pack to get yourself the guaranteed mount because the $100 or $50 is not worth it when you can get the mount using these 100 points that you've collected within those 400 draws. The other case that you might be in is that you did, let's say 400 draws, you got 100 of these points, but you also got that guaranteed mount. What do you do in that case? Well, my perspective there is that you should still get an extra copy of this mount, and that way you'll increase your global defense by 2%. This is still a good deal in my opinion, because the other stuff that you can purchase using those points can definitely give you a boost in your stats, but the mount that you're getting is a little bit more exclusive and harder to get. So this 2% global defense that you'll get once you already have the copy and you're upgrading it is coming from a place where you probably won't be able to get this anytime soon, right? Because this is a mount exclusive to the event. Perhaps in the future it's going to be available in one of the shops, but that's far, far away. So it's getting you global stats from a very specific thing that is probably going to be very hard for you to do later on. So in other words, if you have 100 points, it's always a good deal to go and buy that mount that's available. In some events, it's going to be the wing, regardless of if you already got the mount through the draws. Now, what if you're a big spender and you already got the artifact as well? Getting an additional artifact with 200 points after you already got the artifact is probably going to give you the exact same 2% increase in global stats that you're getting from the 100 points for the mount. In this case, if you have 300 points, then perhaps just go ahead and buy both of them, increase your global stats with the artifact and the mount. But if you would have, let's say 200, here's where it gets a little tricky, right? You either have to buy the extra copy of the artifact or the extra copy of the mount. And the only place where it makes a lot of sense is that if you are thinking that you'll be able to get enough copies of the artifact, and let's say you're planning on using this artifact for a long time, for you to take it all the way to 5-star and increase the effect. However, do note that artifacts are a little bit hard to get copies for, right? They are available, but they're very expensive. And you know what? In future events, it might be available as well, but it's even more expensive because then you have to get the new prize and then you can select the old artifact and get copies of it as well. It's a long process. And by that time, perhaps this artifact is no longer the best one out there. And in the end, the extra copy of the artifact and the extra copy of the mount is still giving you 2% global stats. Perhaps it might make sense to just get the 100 points mount, get the 2% global stats there, and then the remaining 100 you can use on other things. Now, what are those other things? Let's get to that and let's talk about what you should be getting with the remaining 100 if you, let's say, had 200 and you bought the mount copy, or if you ended up having less than 100 so you can't buy the mount anyway. Like in my case right now, I have 39. What should I be buying? The red soul? I don't think so. 100 points is very expensive for a red soul, and you know what? I can get red souls much cheaper just by doing my daily stuff. I get a bunch of draws and they probably give me red souls anyway. Rebirth capsules, not that interesting either. Empowerment gear, I get enough of that from the draws because every time I reach 100 draws, they give me empowerment gear anyway. Plus, I get a bunch from the weekly ladder trials as well. The cake, again, not that valuable in my eyes. Runestone essence, I have a bunch of them anyway. Gems of love is definitely something that does catch my eye, but not that much because I do get a bunch from the ladder trials as well. The primeval breath, that's definitely attractive, but you know what? I do end up getting a lot of them daily, so I don't know if I really want to invest that heavily into it. That's 15 points for 20, but the hammer, and that's 1,000 hammers for 10 points, which means that if I get one more point, I can get 4,000 hammers. Now, hammers do give a huge boost in stats. I'm sure everyone is aware that artifact upgrades, in particular when you go from, let's say, 70 to 71 or 60 to 61, they do give a big jump in stats. And you can see that even right now, I'm getting a lot of my stats from my artifact. 140.3,000% is no joke. And even though I am currently at a very expensive level, like 69 to 70 is a pretty expensive level, it is 67,600 hammers to get me past that. And once I get to 70, the cost decreases significantly. So if I can get 4,000 hammers using the 40 points, that's still a significant portion of what I need to go to the next level. And hence, in my opinion, hammers are really, really good investments, and I think it's definitely worth it. Then there's the soul crystals for 5, not that interesting in my eyes. The clockwinder, 50 clockwinders for 5, that's decent, but you know what? 50 for 5, that means 100 for 10. And if I were to say what's more valuable, 100 clockwinders or 1,000 hammers, I'd probably stick with 1,000 hammers. Because if you go to my mount, it's taking 46,000 clockwinders to upgrade it to the next level. And that is, of course, another one of the expensive levels, 9 star to 10 star. But even so, 46,705 and 67,642 are pretty similar. So the proportional cost of the clockwinders being 10 times more expensive than the hammers doesn't really make sense in my opinion. Then there's the seed, which I don't really think I need that many. And then the gold is just if you have extra points, you can just purchase that. So that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in this video. But before you go, I want you to know that you can save a lot of money whenever you make purchases in Legend of Mushroom. All you need to do is follow the steps that I'm linking to the description of this video, or you can click that button that's going to appear at the top right of the screen that take you to that video. Essentially, using Aptoide and my promo code, you can get 10 to 35% cash back anytime you make any purchase. So if you're making a $100 purchase, you're going to get $10 to $35 back that you can use to make additional purchases. Imagine the long run savings that you could be getting if you decide to take on this offer. The steps are very simple. Follow that video and join our Discord to ask me any questions if you have any, and I can guide you through the process personally as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please like, please subscribe to our channel, and I hope to see you in the next one.